Good morning, Grinders. Hey, it's the DFS pregame show with me, Jordan Cooper, aka Blender Ed, aka Blender HD, aka if you played good players yesterday, you weren't on the top of contests yesterday. You played anyone with a pulse, probably didn't do well. I mean, yeah, I guess some of the players. Okay, it was an underperforming slate for some people. But as usual, if you're going to do well in contests, I hope you do just one slot worse than me because we're competing against one another. So why not? Why should I wish you luck and not me luck? That's the way it goes. And we got the YouTube chat going on as we always do every morning, weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern on the DFS pregame show. We go over yesterday's slate. We take a preview at today's slate, focusing on GPP strategy. Cash games, plug in whoever you want. I mean, play the median guys, play the top optimal lineup, do whatever you want in the cash games. And then the best thing to do is you always learn from the good players, what they did yesterday, how you could use those types of strategies moving forward. So this is what I did. This is what I typically do in the morning anyway. And I would suggest you do the same thing on Results DB on RotoGrinders, which is free. You don't even have to pay for it. So if you have any strategy questions, any overall strategy, today's strategy, yesterday's strategy, any type of strategy, feel free to post it in the YouTube chat. And as always, hit that thumbs up button. And like I said yesterday, if you didn't tune in yesterday, no more coffee. There's no more coffee. I got apple juice. Apparently, someone yesterday told me that apple juice isn't healthy either. But at least it's healthier than coffee, right? Okay, so I guess too much sugar. Is there too much sugar in here? Look, apple juice. Let's see. What's in apple juice? It contains pure filtered water, concentrated apple juice, and vitamin C. How is that not healthy? That's all it says. Ascorbic acid. Is that bad vitamin C? I take a look at this. It has total sugars 32 grams. I guess is that too much? I don't know. It's better than coffee, right? So if you want to keep my apple juice cold, you hit the thumbs up button. Or if you want me to go back to coffee, maybe hit the thumbs down button. But if more coffee I drink, maybe I'd be dead next week. So maybe I don't go back to coffee. But I seem to be there's some pep in my step, I guess, right? Even though I haven't had caffeine in I don't know a week or so, I think that's fine. So hit that thumbs up button. And we got the YouTube chat going on. Tony Tischhauser's here. Robert Gall, what's up to you? Mike Campbell. Apple juice and bananas for Ed Dowden. Let's get it. Okay, great. This will be the healthy morning show now, right? We got our carrot sticks, right? I got some carrot sticks, some broccoli stuff. Yeah, I still got the little ranch dressing cup. So I mean, it's not completely healthy, but in comparison to what I ate before, this is it's like light years ahead of anything. Okay, so don't complain. But maybe you shouldn't be eating bananas, right? I didn't used to eat fruit at all. So I don't know why we're turning this into the show about my health, but that's the reason because people are messaging me going, "What's up with you not drinking coffee anymore?" Like they're not going to tune in, right? Can't hit the thumbs up button. No more coffee, right? Devin's drinking the coffee for me, right? His black coffee that tastes like crap, right? Because I want the milk and the sugar in there, and then you put the coffee. Okay. So let's see. In the YouTube chat, we got Stephen Smith, Casey Willison. Hello, let's win some money today. I want to win some money. Whether or not you win or not doesn't really matter to me. If I don't win money and maybe you win money, that would be fine with me. I don't mind. Let's see. Seth A is here. Everyone's here. We're all here to go over yesterday's slate, where if you played anyone good, you lost. Kinda, I guess, right? If you played Luka, 36% owned across contests. I brought up here on Results DB. I got the 555, the $10 big jam, and the $1 and one. And pretty much if you played Luka, he underperformed. Trae Young, I mean, the Hawks just got blown out, right? Vooch did okay. Okay, Vooch is fine at 51, right? Jonas Valanciunas was much higher on than I thought he was going to be. But I mean, he didn't really get there. 38 points. Larry Nance, he did fine, 43 for 40% across contests. Kevin Porter, I guess okay. Dylan Brooks didn't really. I mean, kind of what happened with the Grizzlies is that they destroyed the Hawks so much that if you played the bench guys off the Grizzlies, I mean, the winner of the Big Jam had a sub 1% owned Josh Jackson because it's just all the garbage time. So I mean, if you did something like that, right? DeMar DeRozan, he was a dud, right? 27.5 points. John Morant, I mean, obviously didn't get there, right? I know some people played like Drew Eubanks. He ended up playing, what, 14 minutes, even though he started, right? That's Popovich. You can't trust him. Then we got Kleber. Kleber did fine, with Porzingis out. And then we got the news late yesterday that Levine was out. So that boosted Denzel Valentine into the starting lineup. Shaq Harrison in the starting lineup. Harrison didn't really do much, right? 11.5 points. But Valentine got, I guess, 27.5 is fine. Fine for him. Kobe White, he did fine, right? CJ McCollum, 58 points for like 9K. That wasn't that bad, right? Giannis didn't put up Giannis only had 40 points. Not many high scores yesterday. Sexton did well. I think he was a little underowned given that situation. So looking down here, looking through all of this stuff, the main points that you could see right here. I mean, you could obviously tell by Denzel Valentine that the difference between the higher stakes players and the lower stakes players is I bring this up every morning pretty much. Late news, lower stakes players just don't take advantage of it enough, right? The less sharp, I guess you want to call it. Less sharp, lower stakes, whatever. Because in the end one, he was 13%, but in the 555, he was over a third owned, right? In the big jam, he's like almost 21% owned, right? We could even take a look at, even when it comes to like the Cavaliers, like Larry Nance, the difference in ownership. Like, he was kind of a staple in lineups, Lance and Valanciunas, and then the N1, not so much. Even take a look at Luka. The reason why Luka was higher owned in the higher stakes is that if you're filling in these value plays, you have the opportunity to obviously pay up at point guard, right? That's what I said yesterday on the show, that paying up at point guard was going to be the thing to do. And especially the more and more value that comes out. Porzingis is out, so now you can play Kleber, right? Levine is out, now you can play Valentine, right? Or White or something like that. Kevin Porter in the starting lineup, right? Gives you all the money in the world to pay up for Luka. So obviously, if you're not taking advantage of late news and you didn't plug in some of these later in the day value plays, you didn't have the money to pay for Luka. So that's why the lower ownership on Luka in the lower stakes. Because one thing affects one another, right? So you always have to take that into account when you're building your lineups. So like, oh, this guy's going to be popular. Well, how much is he? And what slot does he fill in the lineup? You can do this on FanDuel. It's not just Draftkings. FanDuel's even easier to figure it out, right? You see, there's some point guard. Someone's, it ends up, John Morant's out and Tyus Jones is minimum price. And you're like, okay, people are paying down a point guard. That means people have to be paying up elsewhere. And how does it affect the whole construction of lineups in general? And then for GPP, how do you kind of go off the beaten path of that type of construction? So that's why guys like Trae Young were higher owned than original in the 7 hours before a slate. They weren't projected to be as high owned as they ended up being because you have the money with the value plays. That's why, the popular construction was to play Vooch and Joe Val together, right? Play Nance in the power forward spot, play Luka in the point guard spot, and then kind of fill it out from there. Then you got the Valentines, the Klebers, the Rosens, however you filled that out. Maybe Rudy Gay, who didn't get there, right? 18 points, I guess, for 4,000. Yeah, that's not getting there. A lot of people played Shaq Harrison because he was cheap. So like that was the construction. So that's the chalk construction. So how do you get off the chalk construction? That's why we're going to take a look at how some of the top players, some of the players in general, playing in the big jam with 150 lineups, went about finding their leverage, finding the different construction types while still playing a lot of the chalk. Out of all the sports, NBA you're more likely to play the chalk than anything else because NBA is not event based, right? It's not someone can't just play 4 minutes and score 50 fantasy points. In baseball, someone could just get one at bat and hit a grand slam and they're good, right? NFL, one play, 90 yards. It could happen. It's not as likely, but it can happen. In basketball, it just doesn't happen. So when prices are inefficient, right? This guy's out, this guy's going to play, the minutes in usage, like they have to go somewhere. They're going to be going up and down the court no matter what. So in NBA, you're more likely to play the truck. It's just a matter of not playing it all in the same lineup, right? You still have to get leverage. So I see a lot of people in the premium Discord. I was in last night having some strategy discussions. If you want to join the Discord, you got to be a premium member. It's $40 a month. RotoGrinders.com/premium at $39.95. But I mean, the difference of a nickel. Is that going to change your mind? No. It's $40 a month. So join me in there, right? You get access to all. I mean, the Results DB you get anyway, but you get the lineup HQ, you get all the premium content. Baseball's coming up, so you get all that too. It counts for everything, all the core sports, all the major sports. You get it all. You get all the tools, all the content, all the chat, all the channels that we have in Discord. We have plenty of active members, right? And the chat's going all the time. They're typically arguing with one another over, play this guy or play that guy, or you're stupid. I mean, whatever. It's a typical chat room that you see online. But most of the people in the chat are actually pretty successful. So join us there. So looking back in the YouTube chat, let's see. Mike Campbell says to just drink soda if you need caffeine, but soda's not good for you either, right? Soda's not caffeinated beverages. I shouldn't be drinking those, right? I think people are trying to kill me. Okay, let's see. Hit the like button if you want Blender to live longer. Okay, Robert Call just gets right to the point. Just right, hey, if you want to if you want to see the show with me going on further, make sure I'm alive. Hit the thumbs up button. We're just getting extreme now, right? Okay. What was Shaq Harrison's ownership last night? Well, across in the big jam, he was 12.45%. So not like high owned. Valentine was higher owned, 20.9%. Not as high as like Kevin Porter. Kobe White was higher owned than all of them at 31%. So, but I mean, they all were fine. It's just a matter of what you thought the rotation was going to be in the usage. Because with Levine gone, obviously he's the highest usage guy on the whole team, right? So even though Valentine started and White was on the bench, didn't mean that White wasn't going to close halves and still play 34 minutes. So I can understand why White was more owned than Valentine or Harrison, right? I think it was fine to play any of them, right? It's just that we're in uncharted waters pretty much with Levine out in that type of lineup, because you also had Otto Porter back, right? So he's coming off the bench. So you don't know. So if you took a shot with someone, I don't blame you, right? If you faded them all, I don't blame you, right? Because the production just could go anywhere, right? And no one gets there. But I mean, they were cheap enough that how do you not play some of them? Okay. Ed Dowden says, best thing about DFS, my mind erases the pain from last night. When I sleep, new day equals a new 100K possibility. Okay, as long as you have the bankroll to survive that's right. That's all that matters. Shake Milton's going to win you 100K tonight. Is Shake Milton going to be popular? Isn't everyone out for the Sixers? We'll get to that. Don't worry about it. We'll get to it. Okay. Join us in Discord. Don't be a bump on the log. That's from Stephen Smith. Every time I've been in Discord, it's people trying to sell cars or talk everything but basketball. Well, it depends on the time of day. It's a chat room like anything else. Jesus. Some people have nothing else to talk about. What's wrong with that? Ty Miller asks if there's any locks for tonight already. No, there's never a lock. No one's a lock. If you're asking that question, you're going to lose. So there you go. That's the answer. Okay, so take a look. Heebs 22 was the winner of the big jam last night. So I pulled him up. He was a 150 maxer, and then I pulled up some other top finisher, as well as some other 150 max type players, and we could see across the board that like the chalk was the chalk. I mean, like you don't see many of the complete fades of like Valanciunas. I know Ahubro, because that center spot like Vooch. So he had Vooch and Joe Val taking up a ton of the center ownership last night. Okay, so some of these players chose to either eat it or leverage off of it. So it's like someone like Ahubro went under on Joe Val. But if we take a look and go, well, then who did he play? Well, he played some Kevin Love, played some, let's see, at center. I'm looking down to maybe some Maxi Kleber in the center slot, cheap at center, barely any Trey Lyles. Let's scroll down a little bit more. DeAnthony Melton a little, Carmelo Anthony. I mean, I guess he just played a lot of Vooch lineups. Randall, okay, a little bit of Randall. Kind of just spread it around a bunch, right? But still going under on Joval. Going under on Joval. And I mean, like Heebs, Redcoat, Maswood, these guys, kind of a little over. So that's not the place that they got leverage. Then you take a look at like someone like Dylan Brooks, who was pretty popular, 25%, right? Heebs, not much of him. Grape upon 0. But like Ahubro, because Ahubro was getting leverage by not playing as much of Joval, he was going to play more of Dylan Brooks, more of Kyle Anderson, more of DeAnthony Melton, right? To go off the direct, I mean, it's a teammate, so it's direct leverage off of Joval. You're not going to play Joval. I'm going to play another Grizzly that could benefit if Joval doesn't do well, right? You could do that. All right. You could just not play any Grizzlies at all. But I get the point there. And then we take a look at like Larry Nance. Larry Nance was pretty much, people didn't avoid Larry Nance, right? Kind of, Drummond out and Thompson out and like you got Love, you got pretty much Love, Nance, and Zizic. I mean, for all the front court minutes, I mean, who else is playing? So I understand. Like, I understand why Nance was popular. Same thing for Kevin Porter. I get it. Most of these players use plenty of Kevin Porter. Even Kobe White. Now we see Heebs 22 didn't play that much of Kobe White, right? Played a lot more Mike Conley. Similar price range, right? Kobe White, high 4K, low 5K type of thing. It's like, okay, I'm going to play some more Mike Conley. Play a lot more Colin Sexton, right? If we take a look at Colin Sexton, he was 10% owned, but here we go, 52% for Heebs. Grateful Upon at 80% Colin Sexton. So finding a way to get leverage by playing more Sexton, playing Sexton and Nance together, because that's what it looks like here, right? 81% Nance, 52% Sexton. Take a look here. How did people handle McCollum? Redcoat went over. Heebs went over. And then we got like Maswa that barely played any. Grape Upon didn't play any. Giant Squid barely played any. But then we take a look at Kevin Love and go, okay, Grape Upon and Giant Squid found a way to go, okay, people are playing Nance. People play, what other Cavaliers could benefit? Let's compare the Porter ownership. So we got Porter, Love. Okay, fairly even. Love 70% here, Porter 54% there. We got Porter 41% here, Love 25%, Giant Squid 57% Love, and a little under on Kevin Porter. But I mean, the Cavaliers with a shorter rotation and the usage to go around, I understand why people play. You could have played. I wouldn't have avoided playing 2 of them together, right? Nance, Love, Porter, Sexton. I don't think 3, maybe not. 2, definitely. When they're playing essentially an 8-man rotation. Then we had the Spurs stuff, right? Right, DeMar DeRozan. Grateful Upon took a big position with DeRozan. Heebs took a big look. 46% DeRozan. He still won the GPP, right? He had 71% Lyles, though. So there you go. Lyles putting up 35 points in that spot, especially with people playing Eubanks, right? Eubanks wasn't that old, right? Because that was kind of a late starter announcement. So Eubanks was 7% owned, but still, we got people that jumped on it, right? Even 38% from Maswa over here. I mean, he only put up 7.5 points, but there you go, taking advantage of that. But some people didn't, right? There's no right or wrong way. Just how do they get different with constructions? Like we take here with like Rudy Gobert. Here we go. Here's center leverage. Here's Chetty Osman here. So 60% Osman for Grape Upon is right off of all the other Celtics, all the other Cavaliers, right? Nance, Porter, Love, Sexton. Like, oh, well, why not? Why couldn't Osman be the one? Especially at a small forward position that may have been difficult to fill, right? You can see here, Grape Upon at 0% Brooks, right? In the shooting guard spot. 23% Valentine. I'm looking for small forwards. So you had Porter here. What are the small forwards that Grape Upon have? DeMar DeRozan, So a ton of DeMar DeRozan. So he filled up small forward there, mostly. And then played a whole bunch of Osman in the small forward or power forward spot. Okay. It's not something I would have done, but I get it. I get it. I mean, that's all you have to do is look through this and go, do you get it? And if you're going through going like, who are the best plays? How do I just jam in the best plays and then hope I bink 100K? You're not. You don't have enough leverage. You need to find it, right? Where are you getting leverage? People are playing value plays, but they're not playing enough Harden, right? So you have someone like Mazwa, Grey Poupon, Giant Squid. They're going like 2 or 3 times the field on Harden in a guard spot. Probably, if you take a look at Luka, they've a fairly even position on Luka, as opposed to going overweight, like someone like Redcoat just went a little overweight. Look, Redcoat played a lot of, White, Luka, Valentine, McCollum, Conley. He had 24% Eubanks that didn't do anything. Jeff Teague at 16%. Aaron Holiday, like that. But if we take a look at like Heeb's 22, remember, he put in 150 lineups. The winning lineup had Josh Jackson in it. Where the hell is Josh Jackson? We find, okay, here we go. Josh Jackson was 0.69% owned, 37.75 points. There you go. That's it. None of these other players had him. But in what, like 4 lineups, something like a little bit more than that, 6 lineups or so. Josh Jackson done. That just happened to hit the combo, right? If we take a look at the entries right over here, the winning lineup: Sexton, McCollum, Jackson, Nance, Boots, Butler, Kleber, Lyles. Does this look like look? I mean, take a look at this. People are trying to get so cute in GPPs. Does this look unreasonable yesterday? If you outside of Josh Jackson's sub 1% owned, the 1% owned at 4,400, which could have been, you could have played other people in that spot, right? So outside of Josh Jackson, does this lineup look like super contrarian? I mean, for the status of the slate, not playing Luka, not playing Trae Young, not having a high priced guard. I mean, playing CJ McCollum, so that you got that there. But not playing anything, going more balanced. I mean, take a look. This is a much more balanced build, especially on a slate that people are more likely to play stars and scrubs with the value opening up. So playing a Trey Lyles, Maxi Kleber, Colin Sexton, Nance, but I mean, this is not an unreasonable lineup. And it contained a sub 1% owned guy that put up 9x, and everyone else hit. So he wins. End of story. I mean, that's what I mean. You take a look, even Redcoat coming in 3rd. Outside of Bojan, who obviously, broke the slate if you had him, right? 2% owned, putting up 48.75. But outside of Bojan, is this an unreasonable? Is this holy? How did they come to these guys? No. He played Vooch and Joe Valor in the lineup. Denzel Valentine is in the lineup. Nance is in the lineup. McCollum is when we're not talking about like off the board type of whoa, holy, who knows how they came up with that lineup type of plays. It contains one major, obviously overperforming leverage piece. But if we take a look at it's the 5th lineup. I mean, now a little bit more contrarian. You got Brogdon in there at 6%. You got Terrence Ross at 9%. But still, look at the Nance, Vooch, Valentine, White. I mean, we got tons of chalk here. Tons of chalk. I'm just going over this because in the Discord, people are talking about, well, I can't play these. They're showing me lineups that have they're showing me lineups that have like 6 of these types of guys. Like I'm going to play 6, 8 or 9% owned guys and then 1 chalk piece. It's like, no, you don't have to be that ridiculous. I mean, I know it's a big GPP, the 100K to first big jam or whatever, the main GPP on Draftkings. You don't have to go nuts. You have to get enough leverage, but not to the stupid levels. The chalk hits in NBA more than any other sport. Now, it's some days this piece hits and that doesn't. And I mean, you can't predict that in general. But over the long run, if you play every slate, I mean, a guy that's under Larry Nance at 5,200 in that spot is gonna hit more times than not. So why not play him? If you're already getting different elsewhere, like there's no reason not to play him. Like once you put Terrence Ross and Malcolm Brogdon in this lineup, you just jam in the chalk. You don't need anything else. That's fine. You're good. You're done. Right? Let's take a look. Yeah, this is a one lineup. Here's a single bullet. Willie K 272. Right? Now this is a contrarian lineup. Okay. This now we have Bojan at 2%, Daniel House at 2%, Bam at 3%. Right? Love 14%. So his highest on it's still at Nance, so Nance was chalk. This is way more off the board. But if you see, it was off the board, hit some places. It still only came in second, right? Heaps 22 had more chalk in the lineup and won. Of course, he had one, the Josh Jackson piece. But like you need to. These are the types of lineups that win when a lot of the chalk fails. Okay, you can play these types of lineups. I have nothing wrong with playing multiple sub 5% owned guys. I have no problem with that. Just understand that the situation in which this lineup wins is not just based on did your players do well at low ownership. It's did the chalk who were inefficiently priced to begin with, did they fail? Right? Did they not come through? Luka did not come through, right? Those types of players did not come through. So just understand what you're doing when you're building lineups. And that's why I focus. I said it yesterday. You're focusing on lineups, not players. Because I'm looking at this lineup going kind of over leveraged. I don't know, like you could have played, like Bam could have been Vooch, and it would have been a better lineup, right? Could he have just played? Let's take a look at Heats. 8,400. So he needed 300. If he would have played Bam, yeah, if he would have played like what's Valentine? Where's Valentine? Show me Valentine. 3,000. Right. Look at this lineup. If he would have paid up from Bam to Vooch, okay? Bam to Vooch would have been what? An extra 7 points? And then paid down from House to Valentine. And Valentine is what? Got 27.5. Okay. So that's a net minus 4.5. So you could gain another. He would have gained about 4 points. Okay. Take a look at the standings. If he would have played, instead of playing 2% owned House and 3% owned Bam, if he would have played Chalk Vooch and Chalk Valentine in a lineup that already had Bojan in it and Love and all these guys, he would have won. He would have won playing the chalk, right? Don't play these two guys, right? House and Adebayo. Because Vooch put up, Vooch was 26% owned and he put up 51 points. Now, I mean, obviously I'm cherry picking because it's just this specific contest on this specific night. But you see, you didn't need this leverage was unnecessary. Once you already had this in, of course, I'm saying this after the fact. You can't predict. Well, what happens if Bam put up a 70-point game? You're right. He would have won. You're right. Of course. I get it. I just want to highlight that although I always talk about finding leverage, finding different constructions, especially in large field GPP, that you got to get different somewhere, that there is a point where you don't have to get to the point of stupidity, right? Other sports, when baseball starts up, well, we can talk about 2% owned stacks all we want. Baseball is an event-driven sport. Completely different. NBA, where if they're high owned for a reason because they're more likely going to do well than anything else because of minutes and usage, and that's how basketball works. I don't think you need to go so ridiculously off the board. Every lineup, like once you put in Bojan at 2%, and once you put in like Sexton at 10%, I guess, like you're done. Like how much leverage do you need? Like, do you need how much more do you need? You can play Love at 14, but I mean, once you put these guys in a lineup, you're good, right? Then just play the chalk, just jam in whatever. Go to the lineup HQ and say who are the best options for these spots, and then there you go, you're done. You can do that for single entry, right? If you're a single entry or like a 3-max player and you're hand building lineups, you can still go into lineup HQ and do that type of thing. You go, okay, where am I going to get my leverage, right? You can even use it with the lineup preview. Right? We even have a sidebar thing over here. right? You could just do one lineup. So let's say on today's slate, I'm just using it as an example, that you're going to pivot off of like Roji, like you're going to find some guard. Let's take a look at the high price players. Let's take a look at high price players. So we don't have ownership up, but based on these projections, maybe Anthony Davis goes a little underowned. Maybe so you lock in Davis. You go, okay, I'm going to get leverage there. I'm going to see, let's see who may be like lowerish owned. That has a decent. Maybe Drew Holiday, maybe because off of Brandon Ingram. Okay, so you do that. Drew Holiday and Brandon Ingram. You just do that. It's like, okay, got my leverage, and then I optimize. And I go, okay, how does this lineup look? I probably don't play McDaniels or whatever, or Caleb Martin. I probably don't play this specific lineup, but I think you get the point. That once you find your leverage, feel free to just play the chalk. You're fine. Okay. Feel free to post your questions in YouTube chat because I'm scrolling through. So even if it's from a couple of minutes ago or whatever, I'll get to it. And if you want your question answered and you want to keep my apple juice cold, you hit the thumbs up button. Okay. Just scrolling through YouTube chat a little. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. There are locks, but it depends on if you're cash or GPP, and it depends on what your build looks like. Locks aren't the same for everyone. But locks aren't. I mean, take a look at our smash percentage that we have in lineup HQ. Premium. So these would change throughout the day because obviously it's 11:33 in the morning. Who knows what's going to happen? So I mean, we talked about stuff yesterday that well, this guy's out and that guy's in, and this guy, and then everything changes. Well, that's why you need to change the projections. So these are like the chances of hitting a GPP type of score, target score. Like 30% is a high. A third of the time, that's a high percentage. So what's a lock? A lock. Terry Rozier's a lock today. Well, he's a 38%. Like, that's less than a coin flip. So Terry Rozier duds. I can't believe the lock. Well, it was never a lock to begin with. You have to change your perspective of what a lock is. There's no such thing as a lock. A 95% occurrence. There's nothing like that in anything DFS. So that's why I don't like the terms lock, because it implies something that is nearly 100%. Okay. Patty Mills was the only reason Ed Dowden made money last night. Yeah, it's Popovich. You can take a chance on any of those Spurs guards any game, right? Is it a Patty Mills game? Is it a Derek White game? Is it a Bryn Forbes game? You never know. You never know. Okay, Blender, if the drug today is Rozier, then you play him and be different somewhere else. Yeah, that's correct. Or you choose not to play him and then play someone else and then don't worry about the rest of your lineup. If Terry Rozier is going to be extremely chalky and you go, well, I'm building a lineup without him. Well, look how much leverage you've gained by just simply not playing Terry Rozier. I would more likely probably play another Hornet, right? I'd probably play like Miles Bridges in that type of lineup. I'd play a lineup where when Rozier fails, someone else benefits. So that's a way to get like extra leverage, extra relative value into your lineups. Is 1 hour before lock enough time to build 50 plus lineups? Yeah, that's what I do. It's enough time for me. Most of the time, nearly all the time for NBA, I do not even build my player pool until the 5:30 p.m. Eastern injury report. Now, obviously, on like weekends when it's a 6 o'clock slate, I'm talking for a normal weekday 7 p.m. Eastern type of lock slate. So, because that's the last injury report before lock. So, like, I don't know. The injury report comes out, and this guy's out, and like that changes all of my considerations, positional scarcity, and everything. So I don't want to really make any decisions. That's why this is like a preliminary look. I'm looking now. I'm building. Let me build 300 lineups and see what optimals look like. Oh, okay. People probably pay up here. People are going to play that guy. Derek Favors looks interesting. Are they going to go in the mid range for center? You take a look at that type of stuff just to get a general sense. But all this changes by 5:30. You don't know. Giannis sits. Ingram's done. Someone dies. Who knows? Who knows what happens? Who's sitting for load management? A lot of times you can't even expect this stuff. So to make decisions, hardcore decisions, like right now, just seems stupid, right? You don't know what starting lineups are going to be. It could be the type of thing. Look yesterday with the Spurs. I mean, look the past couple of days. Is Pirtle starting? Is Eubanks starting? Is Lyle's going to play this starter? Is he coming off the bench? It's like all that stuff matters, and you may not get that information until a half an hour before lock. So, deciding now, like you're pigeonholing yourself into decisions where if you had more information, you'd make better decisions. The more information you have, the better decisions you can make. So wait for it. So you'll be able to build. You can build 50, like build 150 lineups, and I've done it in 10 minutes before lock, right? You can do it. So you don't have to spend all day doing this. Andrew Tucker asks, what's the best approach on Showdown lineups? I know that we don't really cover Showdown on this show, but in general, your number one priority, if you're playing the large field GPPs in Showdown, the large ones, is not being duplicated or being duplicated the least. That's a better way of putting it. Being different is more important than anything else. There's not, to me, if you build your lineup in Showdown and everyone, and you open it up and everyone's 30% down, you screw it up. You're done. Doesn't matter anymore. You're done. Doesn't mean you can't win. It's just that your expected value is ridiculously negative. You're going to split 700 ways. So your EV you're never going to win enough, right? When you win $1,700 instead of 50,000. So play lineups that have less probability of winning, but more probability that when they win, you actually realize the value of first place to some degree, right? That's what you should be doing from a game theory perspective in Showdown. Okay, the best advice he has given, don't play players and feelings you have. Play lineups. Certain chalk is great, but also depends on your entry size, max entries allowed, dollars. Yeah, everything depends on the contest that you're playing. If you're playing smaller field contests, the less leverage you need. Right? There's less need to be different. You don't have to be, if you only have to beat 800 other entries, you don't need you don't need the ultimate nutsy type of score. Right? You could win with a lower score, which means you don't need as much leverage. You use as much leverage as you need for those contests. For the large field GPPs, the larger they get, the more that you need. You're not going to win 120,000 entry contest by just jamming in the 8 chalk plays. It's just not going to happen. If that lineup happened to be the winner, you'd be splitting 320 different ways. Okay, Sean A says players with the highest gap between their smash rate and projected ownership are the guys we want to be most overweight on. Simply put, well, maybe not overweight. How much exposure you have to players is more a matter of diversification and risk tolerance than it is like there being a right answer. But yes, I'm more likely. I know we don't have ownership up, but like if you sort by smash percentage, and if I saw Terry Rozier was a 38% chance of smashing, and he was going to be owned at 44%, that's the type of player that his ownership is actually higher than his probability of hitting the ceiling. So I'd want to be. I'm those are the places where I'm looking to have less of them. Not zero, but you could if you wanted to have zero. And then I would take a look towards the maybe not towards, because typically the higher smash percentages are the better plays. I mean, are going to be the higher owned plays. I mean, it's very rare to see a guy in 35+% smash percentage and being 2% owned. Like his projections don't work that way. Anyone that's like that, people will notice. They're not going to go under the radar. So that's why you look down even further, like down in like the high 20s, low 30s, and you go, oh, okay, well, let's say we like Danilo Gallinari has a 30% smash. If he ends up being 6% owned, that sounds like someone that you should be adding to your player pool. What lineups you put him in depends on everyone else that you're playing, right? But that's how I build. I don't build by plugging in a player. I don't build by going, okay, I'm going to take DeRozan, and then I'm going to take Alex Len, and then I don't build this way. I build full lineups at once. So I'm just going to add players. Like there's 161 in the pool now. I exclude everyone. And then I add only the players that I want to play. So this all number, today's slate, I only played 24 players in my pool. Then based on those 24 players, what do the constructions look like? And I'm building them out at once. So like, I'm using these 4 small forwards. I'm using these 4 centers, these price ranges, and then building those constructions like that. So I'm not just plugging 1, then 2, then 3. I'm not doing that. So when you're not doing it that way, when you're not going 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, you don't have the bias of, well, I like the 7 guys that are in my lineup. Oh, I need a guy that fits in my utility that's 4,800, and you don't care who it is. You should always care who you're putting in your lineup. So if you're building your lineups by just throwing 8 players in all at once and letting a program do it, after you've already set settings. I mean, this is not like I'm not letting it choose who to play. I've already chosen, but it's going to make the constructions that I want it to make. And it just shows me all at once. And I look at that and I go, oh, okay, I get that construction. And then maybe I look at another lineup that I've made that way and go, yeah, maybe I don't want these types of constructions. I have way too many of these types. Way too many stars and scrubs, way too many cheap centers, way too many, too cheap small forward type of things. They're like, I don't want to play 2 cheap small forwards together. And then that's when I go in and start adding groups and start making sure the constructions are the ways that I want them to be. Stephen Smith asks, so let's say I want to spend up for Beal at 10.4K. If you want to, is that a good idea? Is that a good idea? He projects really poorly, but if you want to, I guess you can, right? He'll be lower owned at that price. I want to run it back with the king, let's say Giles, but they're projected under 10%. Then should I play a chalky player in it? Yeah, if you're playing Beal today, if you're playing Beal with a king, let's take a look at the Kings. Where are the Kings? Okay. So just even based on these projections, the Kings don't even rate out all that great, right? I mean, De'Aaron Fox, but I mean, that's not even been healed. Based on our projections, the Kings don't even rate out well. Wizards aren't all that appealing either. Thomas Bryant, maybe, Napier. So yeah, I would expect that game to be lower owned. But let's say you do play a lineup with Beal, and Beal now is small forward eligible, right? Makes him a little bit more valuable, right? Because he could fit into 4 slots, not just 3, because he's eligible at the guard utility as well as the forward utility position on Draftkings. So let's say you wanted to play a Fox Beal lineup. That Fox Beal combination is. I can't see Beal getting double-digit ownership today at all. I cannot see Beal getting over 10%. I mean, I know we don't have projected ownership, but I can't, based on a 4.3x median, I can't possibly see him being. I mean, he could be 2% owned today, right? And then Fox against the Wizards for 8K on DraftKings, 10% maybe, something like that. I mean, he's not going to be all that owned. Once you combine those 2 players together, you got enough leverage. You're done. You plug in Beal, you put Beal, Fox, and then you jam in the chalk. Don't worry about leverage anymore. You're done. You've gotten plenty, right? You can feel free to. Doesn't mean you have to play the super chalk. Doesn't mean you have to play Rozier or something like that. He's going to be popular. Doesn't mean you're going to have to play Ayton or Ingram or Lyles or something like that. But I mean, you can. You've gotten enough leverage. You're done. You're done. You've done enough. You're playing a 2% owned 10K player that can put up 70 points in any game, right? And if Beal puts up 70 points at 2% ownership, it's not going to matter. You'd rather have the chalk that hits, right? Isn't that the worst feel in the world? Look at when we looked before with Willie K 272. You got cute playing House and Adebayo. Yeah, he came in second. He got $40,000. I'm not like crying him a river, right? Oh, $40,000. Can't believe it. But he left $60,000 on the table. I'm not just playing Vooch and Valentine and then being done with it, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you. So once you have leverage, that's why I start with the leverage. I don't start with the chalk when I think in terms of lineup construction. I don't think in terms of, okay, what chalk do I want to eat? I'm going to eat Rozier. I'm going to eat Ayton. I'm going to eat Lyles. I'm going to eat, and then, okay, now where do I get different? No, I start with where do I get different? And then it's like, once I'm different enough, then it's like, okay, then what chalk guys fit into that line? I think that's an easier way of approaching, because then every time you make a construction, you're being very cognizant of how much leverage you need and have in every lineup. And we're getting some news. Okay, Jason Tatum unlikely to play today. Was that expected? I don't think it was expected. See, this is what People are going to watch this show 3 hours from now, and you're not going to know. I mean, yesterday we were talking about, I can't play Porzingis at that price. Well, he didn't even play, right? So Tatum is out because all these projections are going to change. Smart's going to play. Kemba Walker's going to play, but Tatum is out. Okay, but Walker's on a minutes limit, so we can't play him, right? Right, Walker's on a 26. Yeah, there's no way you can. 7.3K, can't play him, right? Hayward 7. Well, we've got to take Tatum out, right? That's good. That's going to boost them up a little, but maybe not. Maybe not so much. Maybe the Celtics with that Kemba's back, even with Tatum out, is that going to change? I don't know. I'll have to take a look at it. I have no idea. Right, because the anchor even said need that Ibaka news, FEV, Smart, Tatum, AD. Right, we don't. That's why people are asking, what are the locks today? The locks. The only locks I know are goes on bagels. Right, a nice bagel, cream cheese, locks. That's what I want. That's what I want for breakfast, people. Right? Maybe I should start. If you want me to have some bagels and locks, bagels, cream cheese, and locks, hit that thumbs up button. Right? Goes to apple juice goes well with the bagel and locks, right? Anchor asks, can you go over high-end single entry strategy for GPPs? It's the same. All GPP strategy is the same. Just it's all a matter of how much leverage do you need. If you're playing high stakes single entry, those are smaller field tournaments. So the amount of leverage you need is minimal. You can play what essentially is a cash lineup with one pivot and win one of those. Okay, because that's all the leverage that you need. You could 1 or 2 spot, a 2v2, you switch out 2 players with 2 lower owned players. You're good, right? That's all it's the same strategy, same exact strategy. But obviously in large field GPP, you're much more focused on leverage because you have to beat so many more players. So there's no difference. The major strategic difference that you have to consider is that in small field single entry GPPs, the chalk tends to be chalkier for very good reason, because everyone knows you don't need as much leverage. So that's why I take a look. I show you the difference. Like this is the 555. This alley-oop. It's a smaller field tournament, but that's why Joe Val is more owned than in the N1. Is more like the chalk is chalkier. So if you're looking for leverage, it's easier to find in single entry GPPs because the chalk tends to be chalkier. So if Rozier, because Graham is out, is going to be chalky today, let's say Rozier in the main GPP on DraftKings, the big field one, let's say he ends up 38% owned. In a small single entry GPP, he could end up 50% owned. So you know that if you wanted to fade Rozier, you're getting more leverage fading Rozier in a single entry GPP than you are in the large field GPP. So if you decide to play single entry GPP and fade Rozier, that's all you need. Once you fade him at 50% ownership, you're done. Play the best plays. You could literally just X him out and then just play, and you have enough leverage because you faded essentially the chalkiest guy on the whole slate. Assuming that he's the chalkiest guy on the whole slate. Well, who knows? Who knows? Maybe he's out too. Who knows? We don't know. Load management. I have no idea. So that's it. All the size of the GPP depends on how much leverage you need in the lineup. That's it. Smaller, less leverage. Higher, more leverage. That's it. Nothing else changes. 1 entry, 3 max, 150 max, 20 max. None of that matters. Okay. Cork Mouse is about to go off tonight. Mark my words. Okay. I guess so. Well, everyone from Philadelphia is out. Can you predict that situation? It could be Korkmaz. It could be Burks, right? I mean, who knows? Shake Milton. What is his price up to? What are we doing with Shake Milton? 6,300. Oh, geez. Are people playing 6,300 for Shake Milton today? Is that happening? Is that going to happen today? I wouldn't do it. I'd rather play Korkmaz at that point. All right. Rather play Alec Burks. But I guess you could play Shake Milton. It's against the Lakers. I think I'm more inclined to play if you're playing Sixers, I would play AD or something. AD, LeBron. I would hope AD plays. Something like that. And then we got the big game, right? 247 total. Pelicans, Timberwolves. Can you believe that? 247 is the total. So those are good targets, right? The Pels are in a good spot. They can play players from that game. But people did that yesterday, right? With the Grizzlies and the Hawks, and that game blew out. So you get screwed. So just because it's a high total doesn't, got to jam in all the players. Yeah, you better hope the game's close, right? And then you got the bench guys go off. Etuan Moore has 50 fantasy points because he plays the entire, fourth quarter and puts up 17 shots. It could happen. Okay. On your lineup HQ, Aiton projection and smash percentage is different. Any idea why? Well, maybe because I didn't reload it. You can take a look. There are timestamps up here. So here, like 11:51. So yeah, okay. So the Aiton projection just went down. I thought it was high to begin with. So Aiton went down. Aiton, yeah, that makes more. Let's see. Yeah, that makes more sense. 43. Yeah, that's what I thought before. Right. I looked at some other places and I'm like, Aiton is projected a bit high. Right. So that's why we have, if you take a look, I don't know if it's on my, I don't know if Devin has it cut out so you could see it, but where it says projections, it'll show, the updates for the ownership and updates for the projections. So always when you're looking at lineup HQ, you're like, 11:51 a.m. Eastern, ownership was updated, it's not even here. Right. So that's what you do. So yeah, that's the main reason I didn't refresh my browser. So there you go. Make sure you refresh your browser on lineup HQ. Wall Stress asks, which site do you have more success on, FanDuel or DraftKings? Well, by default, it'll be DraftKings because I play like 99% of my volume on DraftKings. So by default, it's DraftKings. I probably could do well on FanDuel. It's just I'm only one person, and the multi-entry on two sites. I haven't gotten that down where I'm willing to put that much money into doing it. So I will play like a single entry type of lineup on FanDuel, most slates, but I don't focus on FanDuel. I'll focus on DraftKings. And it's not because I'm better on DraftKings or better on FanDuel. I just happen to play more on DraftKings, primarily because of soccer. FanDuel soccer product sucks, and I play a lot of soccer on DraftKings, so I play a lot more on DraftKings. Okay. Get you any last questions coming in, because we're heading into the end of the hour, the end of the day. I mean, what can we talk about on today's slate? Right? Graham is out, right? So we got some Hornets value guys that you could use. The Sixers guys are out, so you could use those cheaper guys, right? We got obviously the Spurs. What's going on there? We got the big total with the Pelicans Wolves. We got Tatum out now, so that's going to change some stuff. And we got anything else that happens. I mean, it's 11:55 a.m. Eastern. 3 hours from now, and maybe half the stuff that I just said doesn't matter anymore. Okay. What's Aiton and Lowry's percentage showing right now? Right now, if it's updated at 11:51, it should show the same thing, right? Aiton's now at 26% smash, right? Because his projection was like 10 points too high. That's what I thought. At least that's just from common sense. I'm like, I don't see why he should have that high of a projection. I'm not saying he's a bad play. He shouldn't be a 6.4x median at 8,400. There's nothing that shows that he should have been. But that's why the projections get updated throughout the day. That's why we have the premium NBA projections team. You can see right here. You get the projections if you're a premium member, rotogrinders.com/premium. Meansy, Tuttle, Notorious, SBK, Jamino. The rest of it, they're working on these projections. They're the best in the industry. I'm not just saying that they are. I track it. They're the best in the industry. So if you want the best projections, NBA projections in the industry, you better sign up for premium. Because you can't just go, maybe people are taking screenshots during the show. I'm not going to pay for premium. I'm just going to take screenshots as I scroll up and down. Yeah, these things change throughout the whole day, right? All this can change, right? This goes up, this goes down. These get updated a half an hour from now. Minute here, a minute there, a minute everywhere. So you better sign up. Ed Dowden says, remember you tomorrow when Milton goes 7X. Well, I'm not going to be on tomorrow. I'm not going to have to remember you. You think Milton's going for 7-8? You think Milton's going to have 42 fantasy points against the Lakers? I don't think so. What's a smash percent? Get out of here. Milton. He says a negative RGV at that price. Get out of here at 37. No, done. No. I'm not getting 42 points. Fine, play him then. See if I care. But I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Tuttle's going to be here tomorrow, right? Tuttle's tomorrow. I think Kyle is on Thursday. And then I'll be back on Friday, right? But we'll do the same thing. We'll do this all over again, right? If you like this show, whether it's with me or with Kyle or with Tuttle or with Britt or with Mangone or whoever, hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Share it. Go on Twitter. Say, hey, at me, at Blender HD. Say, the greatest show ever, whatever. Do something like that, right? Let other people know because it's free content. I mean, you're getting this for nothing, right? And this is strategic content, not who to play, not locks of the day, picks of the slate, right? Picks of the litter, all those type of stuff because you never know what's going to happen. But these, once you get the strategy down, you're going to be so much better at DFS. You're going to have a much, much better shot at taking down that 100K, right? Everyone wants to take down the first place, but no one wants to put in the work to do it. Well, this is the work that you do to put it in. And that's what we go over every morning on the DFS pregame show on RotoGrinders.com.